Hey Insiders, are you looking to learn more about the Swedish music scene, one of the music industry's leading global markets? Well, in this episode, we sit down with Sanken Sandqvist, Managing Director of BMG Music Rights, one of the leading music companies in Sweden. We discuss the emerging role that Artist Services has in marketing your music, as well as the specific things he looks for when considering signing an artist or songwriter, and much, much more. Coming right up.
This episode of the MUBUTV Insider video series is brought to you by the Music Business Registry. The Music Business Registry is the leading music industry publisher of the most up-to-date contact information for major and independent record label A&R, music publishers, artist managers, music attorneys, music supervisors, and much, much more. The Music Business Registry is the trusted industry standard and source serving the music business community for over 30 years with the most accurate and up-to-date contact information available. Their titles include the A&R Registry, the Film and Television Music Guide, the Music Publisher Registry, and the Music Attorney Registry. All of their publications are available in PDF, CSV, or online subscription. Visit musicregistry.com and use coupon code MUBUTV10 at checkout. That's musicregistry.com, coupon code MUBUTV10. When you're ready to put your music to work, musicregistry.com.
Hi, we're coming at you live from Muse Expo here in Hollywood at the Roosevelt Hotel, and we managed to catch up with the managing director of BMG Chrysalis in Sweden, Sanken Sandqvist. Thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
You know, we were just talking about the aspect that, Sweden is leading the world in streaming. Mm-hmm. What are some of the statistics you can talk about in terms of, number one, the elimination of piracy, and number two, the percentage of streaming as far as the total market share?
Right. I mean, it's been the last couple of, since 10 years back, when Spotify came around, maybe 7 years ago, it's just totally changed the whole thing. Because, we were leading kind of piracy was insanely for the music industry in Scandinavia. But since Spotify came around, it's just been going in a total fantastic direction. The record companies are making money. The streaming percentage is like 85% is the digital market, and 4% is iTunes, and 81% is like Spotify, and then the rest you have Wimp and others, competitors. So it's fantastic.
Okay. Can you talk about what you see as some of the major changes in terms of the role of the music publisher in the music business today?
I think in general it's been a big change, regarding record companies doesn't have too much A&Ring anymore. It's more like marketing people, and we are the ones, the publishers or indie bands or do-it-yourself thing is coming with like a final product to the record companies. That's what's happened. So we are actually developing new young artists, writers, and just take them to a level where they get signed to a record company, or they just release it by themselves.
Now, BMG is one of the few companies that, as a music publisher, has been branching out, based on what you just said, into other services, such as label services. Yes. And is this something that you're offering in Europe as well?
Yes, we are. But my market is pretty small. If you look at the numbers, you have like Germany is a big market, US, UK, and our model is actually should be based on previous sales from the artist. Is like a history thing. If we sign an artist into BMG service model, they have to have some kind of a level of selling records or streaming. So in my market, it's quite small for that. So we've done a couple of signings and we're reached to go. So I'm happy with that, but it's not going to be a major thing. We might find some artists that have international potential. And for example, we have a girl from Norway called Samsaya, who is now going to be released worldwide through the BMG system.
On the label service?
On the label service, yeah.
Okay. When you sign an artist, for your territories, what are the things that you primarily look for in a writer or in an artist that you would want for your territory?
I want them to be current. Has to be something that, hopefully will have some international potential with them. And I think that Scandinavia has been proving that from time to time to come up with artists that actually make some noise around the world. So that's what I'm looking for. At the same time, I want to brand myself in my local territory. I want to be something. So when I came aboard on BMG, my first thing was kind of brand the company in my territory. So instead of signing a lot of writers that takes time to break. I just went in to sign the biggest artist in my territory and bought catalogs.
Okay,
So people found out that BMG is around.
Okay.
Now they know. So we have a fantastic roster of artists. Now we're going to the next level to find the next big writer.
Okay, so it's about finding the writers. Do you find that the international potential of especially your territory, Sanken, has grown in importance in the last 5 years?
Absolutely.
Can you talk to that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's because, if you look at the Billboard, in the US, it's like 9 out of 10 hits is like made by Swedes or Scandinavian, girls or guys. So for us, it's easy to send people over here and get co-writes and get in with artists because of the reputation. And, you can say Max Martin is the guy who's actually selling our country.
Right, and he's based here.
Now he's based here, yeah, sure.
Right, he lives here in Beverly Hills. But I also understand that Max is starting his own publishing company now.
Absolutely.
And he's just hired a creative director for the company.
Yes.
So he's going to be almost in competition with his own people.
Absolutely, for sure, yeah. But whoever makes it outside Scandinavia is good for everyone. If we break artists or songwriters, it's just open up for everyone. I don't feel like there's a competition. It's more like everybody's helping each other to break out.
Right, and giving a great name for Sweden as well.
Yeah.
One of the big areas of growth, especially over the last 10 years for music publishers has been the area of synchronization. And I'm curious if that same kind of growth or, I guess, market exists in Sweden in terms of syncing for adverts, for films, for TV in your territories.
Absolutely, and it's getting more and more. I have a fantastic sync team at my office, and we get all the requests, and now our catalog in the BMG is getting bigger and bigger. So we have great songs in our catalog. So it's always, asking for these kind of songs. And also, I think the Scandinavian music fits adverts, or TVs or movies. So, we're in a great position.
Okay. In America, one of the complaints about the growth of that has been the unbelievable growth in the amount of music that's available. Is this something that you have the same problem with in Sweden, where you're competing against,
we compete, absolutely. And there is another company that actually kind of killed the market and still are. It's a company who's outside of societies. There's like a flat fee thing. The TV station can just use them year round and just play a flat fee, which actually is not good.
Okay. So that has really hurt.
And all the writers in that company is not allowed to be with any organization.
So they have to be neutral. Okay. So it's almost like a commercial music production house that does complete buy-ins.
Yeah, which is fine if you look at the commercial TV. I mean, Sweden is like, have this the Swedish television, which is owned by the government or the licensed people, like the country, like BBC.
Right.
And now these people at the TV station at Swedish television is using music from that company, which I don't think is good.
Are there commercials on Swedish television?
Oh yeah,
there are.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Interesting, because they're not on the BBC. That's why I was asking.
No, well, they have a commercial thing in between sport games, like it's sponsored by something, but you don't have any kind of movies going. No. But
okay.
You have like a sponsored thing.
A sponsored. Okay, so it's more of a sponsorship rather than constant commercials. I just wondered, because I had a gentleman who works in sync here this morning, and he was talking about that the BBC, just as a policy, they don't run commercials on that channel.
Exactly.
So I wondered if
that's the same
thing.
Yeah.
Okay. When you're doing writers for BMG local writers, how much of the output are they doing for international artists versus local repertoire?
Both.
Okay.
So the goal is maybe to find a new writer, try to break them in our territory, to get the attention from other countries around. We have at the moment we have a couple that we signed a year ago. It's now been #1 in Sweden with a single, and it's going to be released worldwide. So this couple would just tour around the world and do co-writes because of that, because it looks like all the record companies and all the whoever's in the entertainment business is looking at Sweden. I get a lot of calls from my US office. Have you heard about these Swedish bands? Like, no. So sometimes it's like they look more than we do in our own territory. So they can tip us off, you should look at this band. It's like, okay, cool.
Has any of those situations where you've been tipped off to things in the territory panned out for you?
But it's all, all with this tweeting and blogs and stuff like that people read over here, which we don't read in Sweden. That's how they pick it up,
Interesting. So it's not as much of that whole tweeting and blogging is not as culturally significant in Sweden as it is in America.
No.
Okay. These are interesting things to know just about, cultural differences in terms of how people communicate, what tools they use, what are the platforms that they use. So, in terms of maybe sending that back. Do you have a lot of input from your international offices?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
And I think we are one of the best companies in the world in that sense. There's no doors closed anywhere. You can call anyone in the company anytime. You get feedback in 24 hours. And I'm thrilled about the whole BMG energy, the whole thing with that system. I can go anywhere and doors are open.
Okay.
And I can tell it's not that with other companies.
It's not. No, interesting. Okay. What is the relationship you have with the record labels in Sweden?
Close. We talk to them every week. It's a small city. Everyone.
Right.
All the A&Rs, all the MDs, you meet, you hang around, so it's easy.
Okay. Is talent over there from the record label side, are they seeing the same kind of growth that you're seeing on the music publishing side as far as writers?
Absolutely.
They are? Okay.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay. Are they turning you on to certain kinds of things that they're signing? I mean, do you keep abreast of the acts that they may be signing artist-wise versus just writers? Or
absolutely. No, yeah. I mean, any new signing to a record company, we try to get in there and sign them, to help the record company come up with the right songs.
Okay.
Happens all the time.
All right. In terms of music publishing, one of the things that's been talked about in America for a long time, and it looks like it may be happening, is a rewrite of the copyright laws.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't been rewritten in 40 years almost. And I'm curious, it's also something that, they've talked a lot about with pan-European licensing, also with copyright issues in Europe, whereby they want to bring up the whole element of copyright to, number one, address 21st century needs, and number two, to have it sort of become a little more unified around the world. Is this something you're seeing in Europe as well? These kinds of discussions about rewriting?
Well, I think you should take that question to my legal department.
So tell me, Sanken, how's the Music Expo been for you this year?
Like always, I've been to everyone since day one.
Yes, as I have too.
Yeah,
yes, exactly.
It's good to come here. You meet all, old friends, find new friends, see the panels, and you change. It's funny how the panel's been changing through the years. When I came in the first time, I think the keyword was like 360 or something. 10 years ago, maybe, there's always like a fashion thing on each panel, what goes on this year. 360, it turns to do it yourself. It's a lot of, but I like coming here. The weather is good. The wine is good. So
yes.
it's good times. Sure.
Okay. Do you spend a lot of time in America?
I do.
You do?
I just looked for my passport the other day, like the old passport I have. I think since 10 years back, I've been here 45 times.
Wow.
That's a lot. Yeah.
That's a lot. Tell me about your relationship with, as a music publisher from Sweden, with the American A&R community.
At the record companies, you mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you deal with them at all, or do you have your counterparts in America deal? Or?
No, we deal with them directly.
I would think so.
And I'm just setting up a new kind of, there's a lot of Swedish Scandinavian writers come into LA to work, and there's a lot of politics to get into the right sessions and, blah, blah, blah. So I was thinking maybe we should just reverse it. So now I'm picking baby acts signed to major record companies in LA or New York, take them into Stockholm, and I'm paying for it as a service to my writer. So we're actually going to start this week. There's an American artist signed to Warner's, come to Stockholm for 2 weeks, running all our teams. Hopefully we can crack the code with this guy and find the right songs. And there's 2 other artists coming from, one from Atlantic and one other from Warner's, to Stockholm before summer. So I have 10 teams lined up when these people come to Stockholm. Just to get a feel, these teams have great success in my territory, but they need to get a feel about how to work with an American artist. And this is the first step for that.
Okay, so you're bringing it to them rather than sending them to America.
Right.
All right. And it's interesting. I would think that, writing with an artist for their record is an entirely different process than writers writing to get a song placed or to get a song on someone's record.
But this is anyone I sign nowadays is asking, I don't want to do just co-writes for co-writes. I want to get in with the artists. That's the key word right now.
Okay.
They just want to be doing the song with the artist in the room. That's, the chance to get that song cut, it's like 100% more.
Okay.
But then we have, of course, the pitching thing. We have songs down with pitching mainly to Asia, of course, because that's another, easy pitch thing. And working with UK artists or German artists or pitching that, it's more difficult. I don't know if anyone is pitching like a song which finished to Rihanna and she does it. I think she has to be in on it. I think, artists want to be, working with the song by themselves, with it.
So are UK artists, so nobody pitches to the UK artists or the German artists? Is that what you were just saying?
No, we are, but it's difficult to get them placed. In like your song, this is a song, just have someone to record it like this.
Okay, so whether it's UK, America, it's much better to write with the artists themselves.
Oh, totally, for sure.
Now, what happens when artists don't write?
Well, for sure. Okay, yeah, we'll have boy bands that just go saying, oh, yeah, we have that too.
Right.
Yeah.
And they do have a need. I mean, I was reading a statistic recently where something like 85, 90% of the artists on the pop chart do not write songs. And that was a very, it seems like a publisher's dream to be able to have that kind of a marketplace. But you don't find that to be...
I think that changed.
Okay.
I would say in any pop act, anything, they always get some part of the copyrights.
Right, but are they involved in the writing aspect where you would be sending your writers or putting them together?
I mean, I think you place the artist in a room, you have a song and you start recording it, and then maybe you change something, maybe the artist want to change something, so to get a piece of, the song anyway. And also they need to feel like that they're their song. And I think that's fine because they're the ones who could deliver the song, singing it, performing it.
And you have a better shot of getting that on a record.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Much more so.
Absolutely.
Okay. For writers out there today who are wanting a career as a songwriter, what's the best piece of advice as a publisher you could give them in terms of forwarding their careers?
Listen to not what goes on the chart. Listen to completely other kind of music. Totally different music. Try to dig down and dig into completely, like go into jazz or metal, don't listen what's on there right now.
Okay.
Find something specific, which is not, because all the A&R people is not asking for the same song with the artist for the next single. They're asking for something new.
Right.
And that's the main problem. We get tons of copycats, music. And I'm just telling my writers, this is too late. Come up with something else. And they listen and they try.
Okay. So listening to music outside of your own taste level.
Absolutely.
Most important.
Yeah. And collaborate with people from other music genres, get in with other people. So we're trying actually to put together like a jazz guy with a metal guy, and to get that, you got to think outside the box. It's got to be something interesting to listen to.
Some really great insights on the international front coming from Sanken, especially for artists like you who are looking to get different perspectives from a leading source of music streaming in the world. So, insiders, question of the day. What really stood out to you in our conversation with Sanken? Was it the emerging role that artist services plays in marketing your music? Or was it the specific things that he looks for when signing an artist or a songwriter? Or maybe it was something else that connected with you. Do you have any ideas or experiences that you'd like to share regarding this video? We'd love to hear from you and connect in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe to MUBUTV for more information on how to educate, empower, and engage your music career. You can also check out a summary of this episode and everything we talked about in the YouTube description as well. And if you enjoyed this video, we'd really love it if you hit the like button and let us know what other kinds of content and videos you want to see on this channel. Hit us up in the comments below, and we'll see you in the next video.